Control deck, that is Herc away.
Copy, Herc away.
Control deck, that is Hercules passing the transom.
Copy.
Control, back deck, that is tether, all out.
Copy, tether all out.
Control deck, that is Atalanta off the deck.
Control copies, Atalanta away.
Science.
Starting mezzos.
Okay, you got science. Yeah, Sage is on. Cinema cams on.
And eDNA sampler is on and communicating.
This is an audio slate for dive H2066 at UTC 221100 mark.
Control, back deck, all stop, 50 meters. Control has been sent to the van.
Control copies. Thank you, deck. Okay, I'm going to stop the ship, Robert.
Okay.
Bridge nav. Let's hold ship position here, please. Thank you.
What's our depth?
969.
Control, this is back row, standing by for permission to banter. You have my go.
Here we go.
We're going banter, back row.
Oh, goodness.
47 minutes. Nice. That'll put us,
Perfect.
we'll have like 15 seconds on the bottom. Let's see what this thing can do on a downward velocity.
Should have slipped in a few extra plates.
Why don't we just send it?
Yeah, let's yeet it to the bottom. Do kids yeet anymore?
I don't think they say that
No,
anymore.
that's old school.
Dang it. It's
That's already vintage.
vintage. How come you don't know? You have teenagers. You should know all that stuff. Yeah, you know, it's like... you said they talk to you still. They do talk to me still. But I still use stuff like yeet because that becomes incredibly embarrassing for them. Right. Which is the role of a parent. Oh, so up here, this little widget right here. Yeah, it says 1 second, so you might, yeah. That'll do it every time.
I didn't spot any oceanic white tips today. Did you guys?
Nope. No.
No.
Well, might as well introduce ourselves on the way down.
Yeah. Okay. Blessed Sunday, everyone. Today's Sunday, 11:14 on our Southwest Standard Time, and talof and welcome team to our morning 8 to 12 shift on our Nautilus expedition. Title: Emamano Ngatay Falelua. It's great. You know, it's a blessing to have all of us, all of you here as we continue this expedition NA165, and we are on our ROV dive 2066. And on this site location, it's called Tulanga Seamount in American Samoa, or the 2% Bank.
Yep.
And it's one of the most popular sites for fishing. So we might be able to encounter some fishing gears for this dive. But before we get into more details, we're just going to go around the table and introduce yourself, your role, and our question for today is, what's a memorable adventure or trip.
Okay, didn't we talk about if you were a rock, what rock would you be?
Okay. Yeah.
No, don't do that one. I'm just kidding. So what was the question? Most memorable adventure?
Memorable adventure or a trip you've
Mm.
been on. So it can be on a career path or a life trip. Okay, any of those
Or
options.
just a place kind
or
of
just
thing.
yeah.
All right.
Okay, so any volunteer wants to?
Well, now I got to think about my
Okay.
memorable.
Okay, so probably we're gonna go randomly, and then after you introduce yourself, and then you're gonna pick who's the next person's gonna come next.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm gonna start. Talofa, I'm Sitzfano Umanga, work as a teacher in Afonatele Elementary School from American Samoa, and I'm currently on the Science Communication Fellow seat, or the SCF, communicating with people that are tuning in on our website, nautiluslive.org, for questions and comments, and we'll be able to help you out. And most memorable adventure for me is on 2020 to 23. I was able to take my family to first time experience of snow in Leavenworth, Seattle. So that's like the most. And then as a career, I was just gonna is this one expedition.
Okay. So we get to do a personal and a
career
work focus
yeah.
one. Got it.
Okay, Dave.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Dave, I'm Dave Robertson. I'm video engineer for this expedition. And on the 8 to 12 watch, let's see. I'm a broadcast engineer, worked for television stations for years. Live shots are an interesting thing to do. Live shots normally mean going out with a microwave truck or a satellite truck, doing a live report back from the field somewhere about a story. In May of 2012, we did a live shot from the 7,000-foot base camp of Mount McKinley, aka Denali, and that was the start of climbing season. We flew up there with a portable uplink dish and put it together and did live television from the side of Mount McKinley.
Cool.
Very memorable.
Nice. So Dave, you're gonna pick who's going in next. Yeah.
Johan.
Oh, geez. Hey everyone, my name is Johan Becker. I'm the navigator on the 8 to 12 shift, and off the ship I'm a graduate student at the University of Rhode Island. I want to say one of my best personal and professional trips was a combined trip in 2022. It was my first cruise, and we left out of Hawaii and sailed all the way down to this area, well, close to this area off the coast of Tonga, where we did some vent work for about a month and then came back up. So it was a really long, like 2-month cruise.
Jesus.
But it was really great. Everything went really well. We got good data. Everything broke all the time, but that's how it goes.
What is the snack situation at a month and a half? Like, what do you got going at that point, you know?
I will say
Canned lima beans. Ooh, there's a sweetness to them.
the snacks held very well. There were really good
Wow.
snacks around all the time, but the food became just like steamed frozen broccoli pretty much every meal. And yeah, it was great. I met my girlfriend on that trip. It was right at the tail end of the pandemic, so we had to shelter in place in Hawaii for a week, which turned out to be pretty great because we were allowed to go and hike trails, so I just got to explore the island. And then afterwards, I went on a personal trip to Kauai and hiked the Nepali coast, the Kalalau Trail by myself, and that was a spectacular experience. It's really beautiful.
Nice.
Nice. Now you got to pick who goes next, Johan.
Oh, yeah. Well, Esteban wants it, so.
Yeah. So, yep. Hi, my name is Esteban Juan. I am the ROV engineering intern, and I am in the Atalanta pilot seat for this 8 to 12 watch. Off the ship, I am a master's
Robert,
student
I'm going to start the
at
ship
the
back.
University of Puerto Rico Mayagüez, the Marine Sciences Department. And my most memorable trip, personal, was a road trip with the family back in 2010 where we got to Yellowstone and we saw bears, we saw the bison, and we saw a geyser that erupted once every 100 years erupt when we were there. And then most memorable adventure professionally, it's definitely this cruise. First time I've been almost on the other side of the world, at least from where I'm from, or at least the farthest I've been. And yeah, it's definitely been an adventure, so I think this counts.
Did you have that experience in Yellowstone where, like, the first time you see bison, you stop the car, everyone gets out, takes pictures? That happens for like a couple times, and then you're just driving by them, and you're like, bison.
Yeah, yeah. We had a couple run-ins with them, but yeah, they were just blocking the road. You didn't really have a choice, so there wasn't any shooing them. They kind of got used to the cars and everything. But yeah, we got like once or twice. It wasn't too bad. And we also went like hiking, found like a little stream somewhere, like past the day. It was really nice.
Do you remember the name of the geyser that's once every 100 years?
No, no, because it was it was once every 100 years, and they had like a table on it that this is the like the time that it takes to erupt again. And then we saw Old Faithful, of course, but then that one I'd have to look it up, or I have to phone a friend.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the one you have to choose who goes next.
Let's do Erica.
Hi everyone, my name is Erica Leon Guerrero and I'm ocean science intern. On this shift, I'm a data logger. The most memorable, I would say personal vacation that I've ever had was the last family vacation where all my siblings were all together. We don't really have much of that. Someone's always missing.
Yeah.
So that it was on the island of Rhoda, just, you know, a 45-30-minute plane ride from from Saipan, where I'm actually from. Career-wise, I would say it's this trip. It's my first go, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'll give it to Val.
Talofa, everyone. My name is Val Brown. I am the research coordinator at the National Marine Sanctuary of American Samoa, sitting in the science chair today and running the eDNA sampler. I think for me, my most memorable trip is actually going back to the States to see my family, to meet my first nephew. So like when I became an auntie, like for real, like I think that's probably the most memorable. And then career-wise, there's been so many, I've just been so blessed to have really amazing experiences, but I think my favorite was my first cruise that we got to go dive almost all but one of the islands in the Mariana Archipelago. And the only one we couldn't dive was the one that they used for bombing. For military practice, they wouldn't let us go to that because of the unexploded ordnance.
Scuba diving?
Yes, yeah. So we did surveys down to 100 feet depth. I was on the fish team, so it was all about fish, and had some really interesting encounters with large animals.
Was that a Farallon de Mendonisa?
Yeah, we didn't get to go to
Aw.
FDM. I think they did a few times in the early coral reef monitoring cruises up there, but then they stopped letting us go.
Oh man.
That island just depresses me anyway.
Yeah, it's still kind of depressing.
Hey, at least they haven't shipped to Topagin like they wanted to. So
Yeah.
that was a good trip too, doing those surveys.
All right.
And I get to pick. I'm gonna go with Bob.
Hey, I'm Robert Waters, sitting in the Herc pilot seat on this watch. Most memorable work experience was in Australia, in Queensland. We rented a 4x4, me and Matt Hines, who's the leader of Jason ROV. Went off-roading between Cairns and Queenstown. And
Cool.
it's the Bloomfield Trek, which goes through the Daintree Rainforest.
Nice.
Which, yeah, that's a very, very nice trail. Not too rough to do, but on the way back, we decided to try something more challenging, and we did what's called the Crab Trek, which is a pole line road, very rough, and we didn't notice that it said in the book to not do that during the wet season, and it was the wet season.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, so one of the other trucks we were with got lost in the river.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And we got stuck, couldn't get up the hill because of the rain. It was like red clay, and spent the night in the rain in the middle of the Daintree Rainforest. And the final, we did finally get out of there, but the last obstacle was the Daintree River, which is the most crocodile-infested river in the world.
Oh my God.
And we could see the road went into the river and went off on the other side about 100 yards across, but we had no idea how deep it was. And you could see the saltwater crocodiles on the bank. We were going scuba diving on the Great Barrier Reef and had our fins and masts up on the dashboard, but the water was coming over the dashboard and filling up the truck as we were crossing, but we made it.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
All right, I guess that leaves me, yeah. So I'm Adam Sewell. I'm a professor at University of Rhode Island Graduate School of Oceanography. My research focus is submarine volcanoes. I also serve as the director of NOAA's Ocean Exploration Cooperative Institute, and on 8 to 12 I'm the watch lead. I think my most memorable kind of personal trip actually has some similarities to Bob's. It involves a river, and it was in Zion National Park with my wife, maybe before we were married even, and we hiked up this river valley, not like a slot canyon that's pretty dangerous, but it's just a kind of broader valley. But it did start raining and the river level started going up, so what we initially were kind of hopping across as a little stream became wading across, and then at some point she got kind of like swept away, and I just had grabbed her backpack to pull her out, and then we had to bushwhack out of the area without crossing the river. And so that was very memorable, because at the end, afterwards, she was like, "I'm so glad that you were there, because I was really scared." And I was like, "Oh, I thought we had like a 50-50 chance of making it, so I wasn't that confident either." So, and then work-related, God, it's really hard. I think it has to be working on the active lava flows of Kilauea, especially at the ocean entry, where there's, where we could just sit in the afternoon and watch big hydrovolcanic explosions, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. But that's very closely tied with first Alvin dive, which, is being on the bottom of the seafloor and in a place where no one's been before is also incredible.
Cool. Okay, so there you have it, folks. And also, if you're just tuning in, if you have any questions, pop it in our chat box, and then we have different individuals here with different backgrounds on this expedition. We'll be able to help you out with your questions. Okay.
Yeah, so let me tell you a little bit about where we're headed to. So off the eastern end of Tutuila, there's a submarine ridge that runs towards the east, kind of along the axis of the Samoan hotspot track. And we are near the end of that ridge at a small seamount, a little bit distinct from the ridge, not fully continuous, but pretty darn close. And we are going to be coming up from the north to the south up this ridge, about a, let's see, depths of kind of, is it 2,000 to 1,000? Yeah.
1,000 to 500.
1,000 to 500. There you go. A fairly unexplored depth range for most of these Pacific ocean islands, and so we're excited what we might see. And I think it's an interesting question of what we're going to land on at the bottom of this.
Rocks.
Rocks. We got to vote for rocks. That's kind of a good answer because even the sediment is just rocks that are broken down, you know? Unless it's biogenic sediment, then it's not quite a rock yet.
You're going to need about 10 minutes to look at them.
If that.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a fish first thing when we land.
What kind? Have you arranged a big fish?
A what was the one that means it has bones? Teleo, the moa moa?
A teleost fish.
Teleost fish, that's what I'm going with.
A Teletubby.
Teletubby fish.
Hey, Dave, can you fix the camera?
That would be pretty hilarious if we get to the bottom and there's a Teletubby. Maybe like a little toy.
It was working.
What I would love to see is another one of those ctenophores. That was so cool.
That was really amazing.
It's talking, right? Is that true?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Are we sure it was
a
ctenophore and not a...
Turned itself off again, huh?
Yeah. Well, if it doesn't get data, then the dead man kicks in and...
Ah, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Val, did you say, are we sure that's what it was?
I said, are we sure that's what it was and not like some sort of alien being? Because it was very ethereal.
Ooh.
I know it was, I'm pretty sure it was a ctenophore. It had the combs and the
pretty
cilia.
sure, but you can never be 100% sure, I suppose.
It was so amazing. I hope we get a highlight reel of that.
Yeah, that was cool. And the way it just kind of like came right into the camera and just hung out there.
Any other favorite moments as we're winding down, just 2 more days here? Any reflections on favorite moments of this cruise for folks?
Gosh, so many. You mean from dives or outside of dives?
Oh, I guess either.
Every time I get to lie down after the nighttime 8 to 12 watch, that's a good one. But for me, it was clearly seeing the new eruptions in Wailu'u'u. No one's seen them before, so it was very exciting. Predation events, those were also fantastic. That weird little octopus.
Oh, yeah.
A Swifty.
The Swifty octopus, yeah.
It's really hard. I feel like we've seen so many amazing things. The mola molas are really high on my list for sure.
Oh, and the moray eel, that was also fantastic.
And then non-diving, I feel like the humpback whales were pretty amazing.
Yeah. So Erica, you've never been on a long expedition before, yeah?
Yeah, I've never actually been on a vessel before.
Okay, I got a little bit of bad news for you.
What?
When you get off the vessel,
Yes.
you're gonna feel something called dock rock.
Aww. I was just about to say my best moment was waking up one day and not feeling seasick anymore.
There's a little bit of a reverse land sick after you've been on the boat for a while.
How long is that?
It's pretty short.
Oh.
It kind of comes back in the shower, at least for me. I like get in the shower and I'm like, whoa.
But it doesn't really make you sick. It just makes you unsteady.
Yeah.
So that's why they call like a walking like a duck when you get to the port, like.
Is that what you call sea
No,
legs?
dock rock.
Oh,
Not
okay.
duck walk.
Duck walk. It does give you duck walk, though.
Yeah, kinda.
You're waddling.
Yeah, Warren. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like a penguin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a little bit surprising.
Oh, that's great.
So we might kind of like put out like a camera for record that first walk.
I got a question. I've asked this of a bunch of people. When you're going down the like one of these narrow passageways, and someone is coming towards you, which direction do you turn for that passing? Do you turn towards the wall or towards the person?
Towards the person.
Interesting. I
Wow.
don't do that.
Yeah,
I'm definitely
I'm a
to the wall
person.
guy.
Yeah.
Fauna, what do you do?
Actually, it depends. I haven't really thought about that.
Well, now you won't be able to stop thinking about it.
I try and duck into an alcove somewhere.
Yeah, if you can.
Or wait.
Yeah, same here.
If you got the stairs or an alcove, but sometimes on that O1 deck, you gotta
So who has the right of way when you get to the ladders?
whoever's coming up, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's the rule of backpacking, right? Whoever's going up the trail has the right of way.
That sounds right to me.
I don't really like that because then it makes you rush and you're like.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going as fast as I can. Oh, another thing that annoys me when you're hiking or backpacking is the person who's out in front and they decide to stop and rest, and then
they're
as,
done
you, as
resting
you
as you
get there, they're like, okay, let's go. I'm like, no, man.
Yeah, we got a question
That's
coming
me.
in.
Yeah, let's hear it.
From Sam, wondering, are all three vessels, like Herc, Atalanta, and the ship, tethered together?
Yeah, they are. They're, in fact, connected by a kind of special cable that's strong and that can transmit power down to the vehicle and can transmit data down and back. So there's copper conductors for power and fiber optic cables for data, so that everything that is happening down on the vehicle we can know about in real time, and all our commands can go down there at the speed of light, essentially the speed of light on a cable, and we can control what it does. So that's why they're called remotely operated vehicles.
Not robot.
And not robots. And the Sentry, which we have on board, is an autonomous underwater vehicle because it is not connected via cable.
And it is a robot.
It is a robot. And this one is too. Shh. Don't tell Bob.
He's like, shh.
So on this expedition, if you're wondering, that's how we are able to communicate with people around the world, not just us here on board watching what is going on down there. And we call that system telepresence.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we use a satellite connection to shore, and it is, it has so much, kind of a finite amount of bandwidth, so a lot of that's consumed by sending video data back to shore and data back to shore, but there's still enough left over that people on board can, check their email and visit a web page, but a bit slower than you would have at home. But it's still nice to have some amount of connection back to shore.
Which is cool.
Yeah, not every ship
Yeah.
has that, and not every, in the past it was very little communication back to shore. Question coming in on the chat. Val, why are you so obsessed with fish, it says? Just kidding. That didn't come in.
That came from you. I've just always been fascinated by fish. That's kind of my favorite part of the coral reef is studying the fish communities and how they interrelate with everything. So
you told us some wild stories earlier about the reproduction of fish and I think it was the wrasse. That changed one of them would change to male and then the rest would stay female.
Yeah.
And then the giant wrasse that was like, how big was it?
Oh, it can be over a meter, up to 2 meters.
Wow. Yeah, so there's like some pretty amazing stuff that happens with the fish on reefs and down deep too. All this stuff has been awesome.
They're a little more animated than rocks.
That's true.
Slightly more colorful.
But way harder to catch.
This is true. Yeah, and it's, that's one of the things, the work that I do in the shallows, mostly is visual surveys for fish. So we'll dive and we have to train to recognize probably like 250, 300 species that we have to know pretty much instantaneously. And the others are a little rarer, so we usually won't see them in large numbers and have time to go look them up later. But yeah, so when we go down to count fish, we have to know all these species and be able to write them down. And so we basically do surveys, either stationary point counts or belt transects, where we record all the fish in situ, because it's really hard to do it with, maybe now with a 360 video, we could kind of get there, but to be able to look in all the nooks and crannies and see the stuff up in the water column and look around.
Well, I was going to ask, like,
kind of have to be there.
The fish that we encounter don't seem all that perturbed by us, but their sight is not a major part of their sensing complement.
Yeah.
But like up in the shallows, are the fish reacting to you and avoiding you? And
sometimes, and I think it varies sometimes. Like places that have a lot of fishing pressure, we see more aversion, or at least I've seen more aversion. It's been interesting. Once, one of my very favorite fish dives ever was in Alamagan, and which is in the far, far north of the Northern Mariana Islands. And when we were scuba diving, we were just surrounded by fish, and the fish were coming right up to us. Those big wrasses were coming straight up to us, sharks, all this stuff. And then I went back to free dive it at lunchtime, and as soon as I started free diving, the fish freaked out and started running away from us. And then later, when I was on another expedition, I talked to somebody who lived on that island, and basically they use that as like their ice box. So like that feature that we were in like aggregates fish. And so when they need to go fishing, they often go there to go fishing.
Do they fish by spear fishing or something?
Yes, like so snorkel spear fishing.
Right.
So
they saw you without scuba stuff, and they were like, that's a
so
predator.
Free diving, I look like a predator, but scuba diving, I was just a curiosity. So it really varies. Sometimes fish are very intrigued, and other times they run away. And there's been some different studies comparing open circuit scuba diving with closed circuit rebreather, where you don't have any bubbles and reduce the sound. And in some places, there's a marked difference between the two methods because of the fish behavior. And in other places, there isn't.
Yeah.
So it varies a lot.
Resetting.
Oh, well, what's that?
I think there's some evolutionary pressure there, because the curious fish are the ones that get caught, and then the more wary fish are going to be the ones that survive, right?
Yep, that's exactly it.
But maybe the more curious fish are better able to find food.
Right.
So I wonder if it is wholly a negative or has some positive. Interesting.
That's probably why they're still around. There are some fish, though, that you just really have to wonder. I feel like sweet lips, I have to wonder how they've like stuck around sometimes.
That doesn't sound like a scientific name.
No, this is a common name for the group. The scientific name is hhmmss. But they like to sit under rocks, and they're brightly colored. So it'll be like yellow and black and very striking. But they'll just sit there. You can come up and put a camera right in front of them, and if you wanted to spear them, you can also very easily just come up and spear them. So they're very sensitive to fishing.
You got a problem there, Sweet Lips.
Seriously. And
They really do have like bigger lips.
They
though.
do.
I think that's why they're called sweet lips.
You've seen the Sweet Lips?
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a really big one around the island of Sarreguin. It was like a meter long. It was a big fish, and I was able to like free dive down on it, and I could have grabbed its fin. I had my fingers right around it and decided at the last minute not to harass the fish. And I was just like, really? How are you still alive? I am much bigger than you.
There's a question coming in from this person. Says, been using Grafana a long time, and then asking what are we using to collect the data?
What are we using to collect the data? Oh, there's a bunch of different sensors represented on Grafana. Not sure which version or which kind of setup they're looking at, but
Bottom.
oh, there's the bottom.
All right, you want to turn over my way?
Depth is measured by a piezoelectric crystal that measures pressure. Conductivity, temperature is measured by kind of standard thermometry techniques, but conductivity is an electrical measurement. The aqueous gas sensor is more complicated. It has a membrane that allows gases in the water to diffuse, and then it uses laser light to determine what the composition or concentration of that gas is. eDNA, we filter the water, and then those filters are used back on shore in laboratory settings to determine
right on the
DNA.
target.
Oh yeah.
And what other sensors?
It's the end of the cruise.
Oxygen.
Getting it down.
Optode, that's also an electrochemical sensor. And all that environmental information becomes really useful for understanding kind of the context of the observations, especially of the organisms, but sometimes the geological context to know if there's warm water coming out of the seafloor, and trying to understand why that is.
Where's my fish, Adam?
Right there. It just went by.
Hey,
Oh, it did.
Hey,
On
listen,
the top camera.
I promise a fish, you get a fish. Cue the
Clearly still
fish. Cue the fish. That was, I had that in slurp jar number 4, I believe.
That was pretty awesome. That was a pretty good sized fish. I wish I'd gotten a better look at it. It's kind of
Had
off
that shape
camera.
of the snake mackerel that
Yeah,
we
it
saw.
did. Yeah. Could be.
All right, you give me my pen and tool guy.
So Adam, I had a question for you.
Yep.
Why are we planning to end the dive at 550 instead of going further up?
Really, it's a function of the time we have left in the places we want to see, but also I guess we found on the last dive that shallow depths are difficult for the vehicle to manage because of the warm temperature of the water. We don't get the similar kind of cooling effect on the electronics that
Gotcha.
we usually have.
So our hydraulic motor, like if you run it on deck, you can only run it for 2 minutes before it
Oh,
overheats.
wow.
So,
Okay,
I'll
black
break
balance.
them.
Black balance coming up.
Yeah, so the previous times we've dove very shallow have been in cold water, like up in Canada and the Catalina Island. We went very shallow,
Black
Gotcha.
balance is good. White balance coming up.
so not in this kind of tropical water.
Just too warm. Okay.
Yeah.
So it'd be
Okay.
interesting to see if
All
we
good,
see
thank
any of
you.
those deep bottom fish. They tend to max out around 400 meters, but it'd be interesting to see if we catch any.
So
think
what
you covered
what
it.
kinds are we looking at?
So that would be like the onaga, the big deep water snappers. Onaga, lehigh, uku. So, like the big red one we saw yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Got any deep sweet lips?
I don't know.
Oh, there's that fish.
It's a different fish. I can't tell what it is.
Looks like a grenadier.
Yeah, that'd be my guess. Already some corals here. That's nice.
Okay. Here we go. Want to zoom in, Dave?
Oh.
Looks like
I'm going to reset the DVL.
Is it a bamboo?
I think it's a bamboo.
It is.
I don't see any nodes yet, though.
Yeah, there's nodes right there.
Those are nodes?
Those are not nodes?
The
Looks
nodes
pretty
are like
nodal.
darker.
Yeah, those are darker.
I mean, it has all the look of a bamboo. Megan, where are you?
That looks pretty node-like to me.
I don't think it's a, oh, maybe it is.
I think I'm seeing some black nodes there. Like
Okay.
to the right of the laser pointers.
Yeah, yeah. All right, bamboo. But more importantly, what is this rock?
You tell us, Adam. You're the expert. There's a Chrysogorgia there in the background, too. And there's a number of whips around. It might be a stylaster or a scleractinian coral in the foreground there. The white ones.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, before you jump to your rocks, just had to get a few more biologicals in there. And I can't tell if that little pink thing to the right is an anthomastus or an anemone, but I'm sure we'll see more as we come by. Are these volcanic rocks or carbonate rocks?
Well, I don't know.
Oh.
Don't know. They've got some manganese on them. Well, we'll
Very
leave it to the
rich
next
depth.
watch to pick up one of these rocks.
Can we zoom in on that pink thing in the lower
Move
center?
20 at bearing 200, please.
Zoom
It's
in,
kind of
Dave.
small.
Thank you.
Oh, yep. Little,
That looks like the pseudo-anthomastus that we were seeing up on Vailulu'u. A little more spread out on the polyps with little hairs coming off of them.
oh, maybe. Hopefully there will be more for Santiago to weigh in on. It looks like that might be either a little cup coral or anemone to the lower left of that too.
Yeah, it looks kind of anemone-y to me, but hard to see.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's soft or hard on the
Yeah.
outside there, so.
All
That's
right, you can
good.
start
Thank
moving if you
you.
want. Although, you might as well just
Park it.
stand by, because we're going to have to change over here in 1 minute.
I did put in a 20-meter move, but that shouldn't
Roger.
have to change where you are.
Yeah, we're out in front anyway. Hey.
I think this is the last question for Shift. Is the Nautilus going back to Canada?
Not in the foreseeable future, but you never know.
Okay. All
I
right.
think we're gonna get a couple on this one.
So if you're watching from Canada, so hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to have our expedition in Canada. And you can tour the boats.
Video, did we already get a white balance? Oh, okay, take your time. Take your time. You're good. No rush.
Okay. What was that, Gabby? Sorry.
Did we get a white balance already?
Yes, we did. So we
Okay.
don't have to handle white balance or anything.
Okay. So this is going to be a normally sort of normal dive, where we're going to do normal things on a normal slope, at a normal depth, and a normal temperature. No. No, no, no. I know the answers. I know what's about to happen. I checked the crystal ball. It's never lied before. I would love to have a magic 8-ball up here. Actually,
I
if
feel
one
like
of us
that's
could
something that we should have had for a long time.
Yeah,
I know.
maybe
it's
one
like,
of
seems
us.
like the type of thing we should.
Can one of us source this for Palau?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. I think we can
We'll
get that.
talk. We'll like get on WhatsApp and we'll figure out who's sourcing this, who can find it first, because it
Okay.
seems like I don't really think that, especially if the three of us were on a watch together again, I don't really think we should be operating without one.
Yeah.
It seems like it seems irresponsible.
Ooh, look at that sack of calyx. Oh, hey. It's sack of calyx.
Look at this sack of calyx. Adam's 100% on board.
He
I
is.
love that you just came over to do that.
Yeah, that's what he came for.
That was like such a drive-by.
Oh, last night, I was sitting in the lounge and talking on
Go for
SPL, and was telling people what the things were, and then Adam would just repeat it.
Oh, look at that teeny little star.
Oh, it's like a really small slime star. Looks like Pteraster. See how it's got the little osculum, little hole at the top? It's so tiny. Yeah, I was feeding him the answers. So
Oh, good one. That's hilarious.
I was like, oh, look at the Faria near Oka. He's like, that's a Faria near Oka.
That was his pronunciation.
It's pretty good.
Nice.
Then back row's like, how do you spell that?
Okay, go wide.
Go wide.
And he's like,
Daytime just started palms 0 and 1.
Copy that.
I hear somebody talking to me, but I barely hear them talking to me. What's up?
You're off fish. There we go.
Okay.
Now
oh,
I'm
now I hear
really
you.
loud.
What's up, Chris German?
You see an upper camera off to the right, there's some ledgy bits in the rocks.
I do see.
Adam would really like to get a rock before we go too far today.
Oh, you don't say.
And I
Adam
figured,
wants a
and
rock.
I'd figured, Gabby comes in pretty hot on these watches, so
yeah,
I just said,
yeah,
I
love to start with a rock.
I bet that would be just like, get limbering up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get
Gotta start
get
my
the arm,
enrichment.
get the manips stretched out. Yep.
That was so freaky, right?
What's happening over there?
It's iguana time.
Wow.
They've both been out lying in the sun.
Okay, so I have this little, there's this little overhung bit. I can't tell whether it's attached or whether it's like a break off
one
sort
here?
of scenario.
Definitely attached.
I was thinking about the one a little bit to the right of there.
With the coral on it.
With the coral on it.
Yeah, that one there.
Start time 2300.
That's the one Megan would like you to collect.
Okay, what do you think? Does that seem like...
956?
I think
Yes.
it's attached.
I think it's attached, but you
I think it's
might be
attached.
able
I
to
think you
break
can break it.
I think so too. So actually...
How's your blue button?
Actually, would you like to do it? Would you like to start? Sweet.
Rye smash.
Rye smash.
Megan, you got those two samples, 303 and 304?
That's hilarious.
Okay, I will,
So
I will
happy
put
about
those on
that.
there.
Great.
I'm gonna land, yeah. I'm just gonna do it so slowly. In fact, I definitely want to porch out. Bonk. Oh gosh, yeah, okay. I'm off to a great start.
Look at the tiny cucumber.
Okay.
Can we put it in the galley?
Do you see what we're
I wish we had
trying to
cucumbers.
do?
Yeah.
Break off the rock with the coral on it. It's kind of a big one.
There's a little cup coral on there too.
Yeah, just press it. But have your jaws closed when you do.
And this is going to be like last night, Rye, that only after you've got started, Gabby's going to say, oh, but you have to get the rock without either of the corals.
Yeah. Actually, could you do this one while
Yeah.
you blindfolded? Could you do this one with the left arm? Backwards.
Yeah.
Gotta do it from the starboard side.
You
You
got to do
actually
it.
need to turn
got-
90 degrees to the left.
You got to do it with little hook.
Oh my gosh. And you've got a great view in upper as well. There's a few schools of thought. Some people like to use maximum number of cameras. Some people prefer to use shadows and moving the arm, touching things, and trying to build the space in their own head, like a little cameras on the side. You'll come up with a balance. Sometimes all of your cameras are blind, and so you just have to do it by feel.
Got a nice shot in lower as well, just now.
Nice, beautiful. So yeah, you're gonna grab, and then you're gonna wiggle up and down.
Maybe.
Yeah, it might come free, it may not. But yeah, keep at it for a little bit. I think it's coming free, but I could be wrong.
I think that's just us wiggling.
Oh, rats.
Yeah,
The next thing
really
you can
on there.
try is with your jaws closed, I would rotate clockwise. No rotation. Okay, try rotating the other way. Okay, this one's stuck. Rats. Okay.
What about one of those two little overhangs there? Would either of them
Okay.
be worth a try?
Yeah, sure, why not? Or there's a up
Or that
into-
whole
there's-
thin lip over
yeah,
to the right?
thin lip straight
Up
above the
around
jaws
here
right
and-
now.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That might be an easier angle
Yeah.
to come in at. Go for half zoom video.
Coming for half zoom.
Nice, beautiful. It's okay with braking, but not in the right spot.
Yeah. It might be worthwhile just to go on a safari.
Yeah. Let's give this
Wait,
one another go.
what's that? Go on safari?
Go on safari looking for rocks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Is this
let's keep going with this
Okay.
one and just see if you get any success.
I think these are really manganese down.
Oh, no, you got it.
Oh,
Beautiful.
But it's
That's-
No, you're
altered.
doing great.
No, that's good. You even got it right sized.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Very nice sample. Keep moving through that. Good one.
Way to shake the dust off, too.
Yeah.
Nice sample.
Full service. Shaken, not stirred.
Okay, I'm going to tilt down. You can actually freeze right where you are.
Now, does this rock look altered to you? It looks kind of strange.
Go for zoom.
I think it probably is weathered to within an inch of its life, yeah? It should
Okay,
be.
now
It's
you
been
can
around
give it
that
the
long.
rotation. Okay, David,
Oh.
do you have what you need?
Data is happy.
Data's happy. This is now everyone can be happy.
This is
Great.
305.
Okay.
Yes, 305.
So where do you want to put this, Data?
It's wherever you like, wherever you're most comfortable. Every box is open.
Okay, let's go. We'll go starboard box.
Slurp chamber one.
Slurp chamber one, perfect.
Yeah, so this time, just to build a little bit, I'm going to have you get into the position that I showed you. Shoulder all the way up, elbow all the way in, and pitch up, yaw, left.
Are you sure those are the lyrics to Vogue?
And then I'm going to have you can see this best in upper. I'm going to have you azimuth right until you show up in one of these side cameras. And then I'll have you halt, and probably the trickiest thing about doing this, you've still got a little in upper. The trickiest thing about doing this is knowing whether you've halted. And so at this point, to know you've halted, because you can't see the arm very well, so stop there, halt. I'm going to give you, are you ready for sample salvo? A trick for knowing you've halted is actually looking down at the screen, and if it says press index button to control manipulator, that means you're properly halted. And you can see this light too, but sometimes you'll get in these situations where you can't see the light, and so that's your best bet. Yeah, so now I'm going to have you keep the rest of the arm exactly how it is and yaw right to straighten out the yaw joint. Beautiful job. Now stop there and halt, and you can set the arm down, and I'll do the last little bit. Nice. Good check. leave everything just the way it is. Blue button, if you were to press the blue button now, we'd probably drop the rock. Really nice job. Yeah. Okay, you can starboard box open. Okay, I guess we'll go for one of the wee.
Yes, I think that'd be preferable.
I seem very biased towards the third one, so I'm going to try for the fourth this time. So something I also try and do with these samples is when I'm putting them into a box, I find the end that's sort of like the longest, the sticky outiest, and point it down into the box. It also works really well for corals. And the reason to do that is you can kind of start, you can use that as a cue to figure out when you've actually got it in the box.
Nice job. Thank you, front row. Okay, Belle, I think we're at that stage where we've done something and our watch has been a success. We're ready to
Pull a Niskin?
declare who we are.
Usually at this point we also pull a Niskin.
Talofa.
You can do some donuts if you like, but no
Okay,
Niskins.
thanks. Some salts.
Talofa. Isabel Halatuituia. Greetings and talofa, everyone. My name is Isabel Halatuituia. I am sitting in the Science Communication Fellow seat and pretty excited and sad at the same time. This is going to be our second to the last dive.
I reckon.
Anyways, learned a lot from this watch team, and yeah, I'm a little sad.
Aw.
Yeah, this
Hey
has been a
everybody,
great watch.
I am Chris. I am the watch lead. I am just settling in for a nice, gentle Sunday afternoon drive in the country, and chilling out.
Hi, I'm Mary. I'm on the science team for this dive, and I am running the eDNA sampler and 2 gas sensing instruments.
And hello, I'm the other Chris. I'm in the data logger seat today. I think I'm going to join Chris for a nice leisurely ride through the country.
In your front row, I'm Megan, sitting in the navigator seat.
Gabby, Herc.
And Samantha in the video seat. Oh, Rye, I think you're off SPL.
Yes, I am. I'm Rye, and I'm in the Atlanta seat.
And with our powers combined...
Yeah.
We are 12 to 4.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, well done. Way to bring that one home.
Nicely done.
Sponge.
It's a Fria near Oca erecta.
Macaroni and cheese sponge for the layperson.
Yes, the macaroni and cheese
Civilian
without
name.
the cheese.
Yeah. We've got quite a few corals coming up.
Yeah, some bamboo corals, and there's an amatocarcinus.
Oh yeah, which direction are we gonna go?
So we are going
Up. I presume up.
200.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do some ballast.
And we're back in Megan's comfort depths today.
Yes, I
Oh,
feel
thank
much more
goodness.
comfortable. I was like, I know
She
this
was-
one. I got this.
She was totally overheating yesterday at 150
I was
meters.
like, oh, I don't know. It's pink. Let's collect it.
I wish we had gotten more enrichment time.
Yeah.
You and I were getting really enriched.
We were so enriched. The mesophotic zone is a whole new world.
Did you do any shallow dives when you were up in, it was off Alaska, right? Or off Canada?
They
Was it the
weren't
Aleutians
that
you went to?
shallow.
Not shallow.
There were some shallow dives in fjords in Alaska, but they were still deeper than 100 meters.
Okay.
There's some good corals up there.
Got a question coming in. Is the same crew on the ship on every expedition? No, it's not the same crew.
Okay, so where are we going?
I think it's like
200.
Okay,
almost
do you have
complete
200
switch out that's
dialed in?
coming up this. Well, I think
On,
normally it's like a
analyzer?
staggered thing
Sorry,
that some
what
people
was
stay
that?
on
200
for.
for your heading?
200.
So there's some continuity,
close.
but I think
Yeah.
a
Okay,
lot of
yeah,
the
get the
people
move
on the
going.
ship
Alright,
this
let's
time
do
are
it.
actually getting off at the end of this expedition, and it's a whole new team
Bridge now.
flying in. I think everybody who's joining the ship is flying in on Monday.
Actually, it's Thursday.
We would like to move 20
Oh, they're not
meters,
flying in till
200.
Thursday?
Well, according to the website, it says
Ah.
they're leaving on
Thanks.
Saturday. I don't know, could have changed.
Well, then we'll see them at the airport.
Yep.
We better tag them. Say, haha, you're it.
Well, they got a map at all.
They have got to map it all.
So when they're mapping, they're not in here, yeah? Because there's no ROV dive.
I mean, they can come sit in here in map
And
if they
wish,
want,
yeah.
but I think they'll probably choose to sit downstairs where it's warmer.
Yeah.
Can we look at some of these white corals, the fans?
Yeah. Megan?
Yes.
Is this the sort of flattest part of this dive?
Yes.
Okay. And then it gets steeper?
Uh-huh. But not like yesterday.
Not like yesterday.
Not like yesterday.
No vertical cliffs. There are some
this is what you're
available to
looking at?
you if
Yeah,
Megan takes
no,
you
the
wildly off track.
fans.
The what?
The fans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you want some steep vertical cliffs like yesterday? Megan could
No,
find
I'm
you some.
good. I feel super
I can
enriched.
see Megan has them just to the Megan has them just to the east of you.
Oh, thanks.
Oh yeah, we could just bebop over here and go.
Yeah, no, I'm good without the bebopping.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Sorry, that is correct. The crew stays, but the science engineer
Go
and...
for zoom.
Go for zoom.
Right.
Yeah, they change out. The communication video engineer,
So, yeah, and a lot some.
the visitors change.
The expedition leader, Rennie, the head of navigation, pretty sure Matt, the data person, Jamie, head of communications. So it's not just
Yep.
Okay,
That's
go
what I
on.
wanted.
not just the watch teams that are rotating out.
I keep thinking that monkey's fist is like a really bright sponge.
What's that?
I keep thinking that monkey's fist is like a really bright sponge.
They do sometimes come in that color.
There was some soft corals last night that were that color.
Yeah, those were wild. The little elephant trunks.
I like that this bamboo is like masquerading as an Iridogorgia.
Yeah, it just wanted to be a little twisty.
It's obviously a happy place to live just here along the top of this ridge.
Oh yeah, lots of happiness here.
Mm. So in Alaska, were you far enough north that you get places that have really restricted daylight? And how does that affect corals? Well, I guess deep sea corals
Well,
don't
deep
get
sea
affected at
corals
all,
don't
right?
don't care.
They don't notice.
Yeah, anything in Megan's zone doesn't care.
There must be an amount of like marine snow that comes down though, right?
Oh yeah, no, there's
the
a
food,
lot of
so that-
food input, especially with the blooms.
Mm-hmm.
So super high
No shortage of
densities, lots of really large and wacky stuff.
Large and wacky stuff.
And do the fjords freeze over in winter? Or is it not that
I
cold?
don't know.
Okay.
Megan, I have a question for you about critters.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever seen a giant deep sea isopod?
Like
in person?
How giant?
Like big enough to be scary?
No.
Okay. TJ was telling us about that he once hauled up a piece of equipment that had he called it a trilobite at first, which kind of works because of how like ancient and scary they look.
I mean, I would love to see a trilobite.
Yeah, no, but like a deep sea isopod.
I see this little crab down here with the arms.
Oh yeah. Go for zoom?
Going for zoom.
Yeah, if we found a trilobite, that would be like mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it just?
Oh, that is a crab. Wow.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah. My zooming abilities aren't that fun, but here we are. Okay,
So
its name starts with CY.
Is it just hanging out with its arms up like that, just waiting for somebody to bump into it?
Yeah, just sort of waiting
Yep.
for an opportunity. And I think there's a basket star on that bamboo coral, the yellow one.
The yellow one's a bamboo, hey?
Yeah. See, it's just the same color as your little ball, little monkey's fist. But it doesn't taste like lemons.
Really?
No.
It's only
What
one
does
way
it
to find
taste
out,
like?
really. Go for zoom.
I mean, if it did taste like lemons, I'd be really surprised.
So you don't know?
I don't know. I haven't licked this one yet.
Is that a little snail on that?
That is quite the basket star.
Really
Or is
nice.
it just, oh no. It's something through and
I
out the
love
other
when
side.
they're just like
it might be a
flexing
snail
and like
here.
toiling.
Yeah, you can do whatever zooming you like. I'm really stable right now.
I think that's
And
part of the
maybe
coral.
Is it a polyp or something?
I think it might have some like sort of interesting growth there.
If you want to push all the way in video.
Yeah. Take a look at the polyps and stuff.
Oh, wonderful. The vehicle is really well set up right now.
Yeah,
Megan,
there
what's
could
the
have been
term?
like some damage to that location, and that's
So
why
it's just
it's
like a little,
kind of
like a tuber
overgrown.
type thing? Oh, there's a
Oh,
little
there's
brown
a-
snail, yeah?
Oh, that's actually a
That's a jellyfish.
jellyfish.
Oh, wow.
Stop.
That is
Yeah,
coral
they
polyps, right?
feed on corals.
Beautiful work video.
It's called Agenona.
Apparently they don't get that fat
Okay, go on. Go
on a
ahead.
diet of coral.
I've collected
that tiny.
some before. They were really
Love
hard to
those polyp
preserve.
zooms.
Yeah.
Okay. Should
It's
probably
a tiny
do
little
my
thing
job
as well
now.
as soft, right?
Okay. What did we say this is? 200?
200.
There's those contours you didn't want.
Megan, what do you call the name for the distribution of polyps? Like either alternating or the branches on a coral branch? Are they alternating and
Well, on the bamboo, they kind of go in a whirl around the outside. So they're not necessarily opposite or alternating.
okay?
But some corals do have more regular branching and
I'm going down a little bit.
Yeah.
polyp arrangements.
Thanks for the heads up.
I think if you can nudge around a little bit more to starboard, Gabby, that'll be more along the nose of the thing rather than falling off the edge of the ridge.
Okay, I'm just following the our direction of travel.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, in terms of where you're facing compared to
Oh
driving,
yeah, sure, absolutely.
it'll be less of the blue water off the edge of the cliff and more chance to
Happily.
see stuff. Thank you.
I'm so happy
Yeah,
to
so-
see stuff.
Yeah. Looks like there's a tall coral kind of ahead of you, and
Go for zoom.
Going for zoom.
ooh,
A little cup coral.
I cannot tell the difference between those and anemones.
So in between the tentacles, there are plates.
Okay, go
Then
on.
it's a cup coral. If it looks kind of smooth, then it's an anemone.
Okay. Chris, German, you're just looking at this whip coral here?
yeah.
Cool.
Just as a way of like
Just making
figuring
progress.
in that kind of direction is
Yeah.
where we might see other things. There's a whole family of other
Go for
things
zoom
coming up
video.
ahead, I think.
Going for
That's-
zoom.
Yeah.
Are we taking a look at this thing in the middle?
I was gonna go for just follow the whip coral up while we're waiting on the ship.
What is the black thing just to the left of this?
I
Flag.
see what you're talking about. I'll scan up this and then I'll go over and look at that. We definitely have a little time while we wait on the ship. Somebody's been chomping on this one.
Mhm.
Go wide.
Going wide.
Or it just tied itself in a knot and
Black.
rubbed itself.
Yeah, it does look like
Is
that.
it like a little crinoidy thing?
Yeah, black thing. Okay.
So right
see.
down
Yeah.
Just
here.
be just a darker part of the rock.
It may be. It looked like it was sticking up there.
Did we ever figure out what those black things were earlier? Go for zoom.
Oh, I think they were xenophyophores.
Okay. So their own little single cell organism.
Yeah.
And what do we think this is?
Manganese oxide encrusted something.
Yeah.
Why is
It's
this
really
manganese
black,
so much blacker than the others?
Maybe it
Maybe
just doesn't
it's-
retain sediment. Maybe.
Maybe it's rolled downhill from somewhere further up.
Okay, go wide.
Going wide.
Just came to rest there.
We can get another move in.
Bridge nav.
This is a great fissure. Let's
Mm.
What are we looking
We
at?
would
for-
like a 20-meter move 200.
What are we looking at for pacing for this dive? Are we really trying to get through the whole thing, or are we trying to be more leisurely, strolly, or what are we doing?
We can start leisurely strolling
I think,
if there's stuff to see. but-
Exploration.
Okay,
the
exploration
plan.
pace, roger.
Mm.
I'm very familiar.
They were like, Megan, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, what do you want to see? They're like, what do you want to see? That was conversation.
Everything.
Go for zoom.
Going for zoom.
Why don't we start at point 2 until we get our eye in, and then if we get to the point where we're seeing more of the same things and it's not getting much variety, then we can always try point 3 later.
So we got some more Enelopsamia hard corals, some fruited sponges, an anemone, a Metacarcinus, Anthomastus.
Is this a region we'd
I was
want to
gonna
consider a Niskin? There's a lot going on around here.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of
Yeah.
diversity here.
Given the, I was thinking that I was triggered
Okay,
entirely
go
by Megan like doing a quick run off of how many species she could see in like 10 square centimeters.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
There's Polyapathon,
Well, I'm gonna
there's
go hang out right where all
Calphacus.
those species are.
Yeah, there
Yep.
seems to be a dense area.
I got a question coming in. What do you think is the most mentioned coral from Nautilus expeditions?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it Chrysogorgia?
Paragorgia. I'm gonna say we see a lot of those.
We do see a lot of Paragorgia.
Paragorgia is the bubblegum coral, right?
Yes.
Yes. I would say I am most familiar with that.
They're also the best corals.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How do you figure?
Because those are his favorite.
Because those are the ones that Santiago studies.
That's why they get mentioned the most, because
they're the
Santiago
best.
comes.
That's hilarious, Santiago. I
It's like-
love that he states that as an
Yeah.
objective fact. They just are. They're the
They
best
just are.
ones.
They're the best
Okay.
ones.
We'll get ready to do a Niskin here.
Sorry, I've got some
Another question,
issues
are
with my
corals
tilt
brighter
camera,
in
so-
warmer water?
Oh, my tilt camera's been like doing some weird things.
Are they
so
brighter
if
in
you
warmer
see
water?
some stuff.
I think that there's like a brighter richness of color in the photosynthetic corals, right? The ones up in the upper water column.
Oh, I mean like
So
shallow?
that's as in warmer? Yeah. When
Well, I
you get
think
too
they-
warm, then you get bleached corals, so that's not
Yeah,
good
they
at
get
all,
their
so-
colors from the zooxanthellae, whereas
That
these
box
corals don't
here.
have that zooxanthellae.
Yeah.
We
The
don't have
question,
anything
the
in
question
the
of
front
being,
box yet,
do you
do
get
we?
brighter
What's
colors
that?
with
We
warmer
don't have
water?
anything in the front box yet, do
And
we?
We have nothing anywhere.
they're both kind of
Except for
coincidental.
that one rock that we put in the starter box.
I don't know. Sometimes we see some really bright colors down here too.
Data, thoughts on me pulling Niskin 1?
Niskin 1, pull away.
Awesome.
Megan, would you be able to give me a little description of the species we see down here for the notes?
Sure. There are unbranched bamboo corals. We've got the yellow bamboo S1 clade corals. There are Enelopsamia hard corals, Anthomastus soft corals, Nematocarcinus shrimp, anemones. What else did I see? There was some Caliphacus sponges, Farreid sponges.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Poliopogon sponge.
What were the two types of sponge you said, sorry?
The Farreidae, or Farrea, and then there was Caliphacus that we passed right before we
Is that
stopped here.
Caliphacus with a PH or with an F?
With the pH. And that's 306.
Yes, 306.
Thank you for the description.
Okay, there's that Niskin.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's continue the stroll.
Okay.
There's a couple large corals.
Yeah, you're off SPL, Bill? Oh, yeah. Yes, manganese.
Yeah, if someone wrote in, if manganese crust takes millions of years to be created, would that mean these coral bases are extremely old?
I know I'm way off in the cabbage.
Yeah, comparatively, certainly.
Oh, that's a nice one.
And then mentioning,
Nice one to your
Nice
do
coral.
these give off dark oxygen?
Which coral?
It's a bamboo coral. If you zoom in, I can tell you more.
I need to find out about that. I just saw the paper and I didn't download it
Keep
to
going.
read it before I came away on this cruise, but it is this new idea that as those ferromanganese nodules, as they
Okay, so it's
mineralize
nodally
from
branching.
one mineral structure to another, can release oxygen. I'm
So
not
it's
sure
like
if
a Jasoniasis.
this manganese oxide can. I think that's stuff that has a different ratio or a higher proportion of iron to manganese in those things. I think this might be stuff that's sufficiently old and recrystallized that it might not be the same thing.
Okay, go wide. Okay, I have to get out of the cabbage here.
Green or red?
Like the purple kind. Purple cabbage.
I had bowls for lunch.
Nice.
Which tastes better?
I think they tasted the same.
You can't taste the purple food dye?
I didn't taste the purple food dye. Though I feel like the purple one was squeakier.
I think this is going to take me downhill a bit.
Squeakier.
Yeah.
Oh, then they really are doing it with nail polish. I did wonder.
It is a beautiful color for nail polish, I think.
Bridge now.
Actually, you know, I'm surprised, Gabby, that you didn't just start casting it around over the the
Yeah, like
dining
a
table to get that
20
same
meter
color
move,
palette you were falling in
200.
love with last night.
I
At the
know. Yeah, the
it was
purple
the same
cabbage
dark
was
reds
a
and
perfect,
greens, and
yeah.
you could have got some of that Thai sweet and sour spicy sauce.
Oh,
Get
yeah,
that bright
to
orange
get
and
the
just splash that
orange.
in as well. And
Yeah, that you're absolutely
you could
right.
just
I
like
do not spend
you could
enough time playing with my
you
food.
could do all of that and then just photograph your salad and then pass it off to somebody else.
Yeah, don't encourage me. I did once make a whole bunch of continents on my food, on my plate with my breakfast. Called it a continental breakfast. And took pictures and sent them to everyone and expected them all to laugh.
I would have laughed.
I
You
would.
would have, yeah. I mean, ship people laugh, and non-ship people are like, eh.
I've just been channeling Richard Dreyfuss and sculpting by Lulu out of mashed potato. Sean got really annoyed when he couldn't get into his bunk last night. It's a lot of mashed potato.
Okay, go for Zoom.
So this is a regadrella, and it's got something inside. A little surprise. Like a Kinder Egg. There's a little shrimp that lives inside here.
Mm-hmm.
You can push in more.
That is max now.
Oh, okay. I'm just too far away.
It's a spongicola.
Go wide.
Because it lives
Go
in a
wide.
sponge.
That optoad cap is always very startling.
Yeah, that like whipped my head around.
Yeah.
There might be a better way to secure that.
Yeah, maybe. Go for
No,
Zoom.
I think we've exhausted all the options. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a joke. We haven't tried anything.
What's that?
Oh, that was a joke. We haven't actually tried.
I've tried nothing, and I'm all out of ideas. Go wide.
Go wide.
I've looked nowhere, and I'm all out of ideas. That's great.
I think the trick to this camera tilt is I just tell it to go the opposite way that I want it to go.
Reverse psychology. For which camera tilt? Because they're both not working very well. Bubble or Atalanta?
Atalanta. No, Bubble just likes to be a yo-yo. Just wants a yo-yo.
Bridge nav.
Go for Zoom.
Go for Zoom.
We had like 20 meters 200. This is
like a
another
rose,
sac of
isn't it?
calyx. It's a glass sponge in the family Eucalyptilidae. And I think it would make a great lamp.
I was just thinking the
Very
same
good.
thing. I was figuring out what the photogrammetry would look like and like how to 3D print it and
Yeah.
go wide.
Go wide.
I've seen some beautiful, I was just at the Denver Art Museum and they had this beautiful exhibit called Biophilia about like humans need to commune with nature, like feel connected to nature. And there was a gorgeous 3D printed lamp that drew from coral design.
Oh, that sounds great.
It was really nice. and like not shallow water corals, but deep water corals, which
Mhm.
I like. You don't deep water corals don't get a lot of press,
No, they don't.
which is sad. So it was nice to see something that echoed their forms.
Especially since there's deep water corals in most of the ocean.
Yeah, they should get more press.
They should.
You guys spread the good word.
Way more abundant than the shallow water corals.
Yeah.
If we talk about it enough, that'll be the next IKEA collection.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would be all about
yes,
it.
that would be great.
They're exactly the people that would
Except we
pick
don't
up on
have
it.
IKEA in Hawaii, and they don't ship to Hawaii.
Well,
Oh
we
my
can do better.
Yeah.
We can do better than IKEA. And you guys have a great 3D printer.
Yeah. Only the same one that's on this ship.
Yeah, it's a great 3D printer.
It's a great 3D printer.
Oh yeah, I've been scheming about this.
You could set up your own private enterprise making
Yeah.
3D printed lamps.
Yeah. The design is hard,
Wait.
like to create good natural forms without exactly copying an existing natural form.
Mhm.
Like the variations are so subtle. And if you're too regular in your patterns, you get into this uncanny valley land where the thing is actually like unsettling
It's
instead of soothing.
too much like nature to be.
Yeah.
Too regular to be natural.
Yeah.
Or
'Cause
just don't use such a classy 3D printer.
What's that?
Just don't use such a good 3D printer.
Yeah.
You can program it to look just
All
like nature, and then the
squashy.
little deformations and stuff like that will just give it that little bit of off kilter. And then you could charge extra and say it's like made by authentic ROV pilots and marine biologists. you and Megan go into a franchise and
We
like
are
we'll even give you
very
its
authentic.
we'll even give you its Latin name.
Oh, so authentic.
Printed on the shores of Vancouver Island. Of course, you'd have to find out what material to print it out of that wasn't plastic. Right?
Yeah.
They do have metal printers.
Yeah.
But then you have to like bake them. Bake your print afterward.
Is there a fish on the top right of the HD cam?
Let's see, fish.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Hello, fish.
It's cute little fish.
Someone commented, well, Jason, yes, Megan, I want a yard
zoom.
full of 3D printed sponges and corals in my yard.
Oh, that would be such a nice garden.
Yeah. It's a Castile.
Okay, go wide.
Excuse me.
So that's the family Ophidiidae.
You just said that because it's fun to say.
Yeah, it is fun to say. Well, most of the names are fun to say.
Ophidiidae.
Is
That
the
was very
3D printer usually to print parts for the ROVs, or is there anything else that's used for?
You can print parts for anything, but those little lottery balls that we have for the Niskins are 3D printed on our printer. I've printed like cable organizers for the vehicles and
Yeah, we definitely do a lot of organization.
organization, yeah. Printing little boxes
Brackets.
for all of our little bits.
I like to call it the bracket store. Free
Yeah.
shipping.
Free shipping, yeah. You just have to wait a few hours and
Yeah.
it's delivered directly to you. You know, it's a great source of fidgets.
Oh, that's where you
not
get
what
your
it's
fidget
for,
spinners
but,
from?
you know.
Aren't these cup holders also?
Yeah, the cup holders that we have in the van are 3D printed.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They're specifically made to hold the cups that we all have with the little handles. So there's like a slot.
So if we wanted to 3D print one of the seamount or Vailulu, are we able to do that on the ship or no?
Oh yeah, we could, but we already have a print. But
Oh,
we
we
could
do?
print. Yeah. I think it's up in the forward lounge. Or in Adam's room.
I was going to say, it's not in the forward lounge. Adam's
Well,
been
you know,
cuddling
he
that
might
as
be
well.
sleeping with it.
Ah, saw that mashed potato went to waste. Who knew?
Bridge, Nav. We'd like to move 20 meters 200.
Actually, we did find out that Adam has two, like, wicker circular laundry baskets in his cabin. So maybe that's it. One's for his laundry and the other one's where he's been carrying around his little 3D printout of the, of the volcano. Keep it safe.
Yeah, but the 3D printed stuff holds up really well on the ROV.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we almost 3D print a little top hat for Drinking Bird, but then we were like, where would we mount it?
I'm sad that we did not get a top hat for Drinking Bird.
Probably would have stayed on with some JB weld.
Zip tie, everything stays on with zip ties. Be like a little summer hat with a tie.
Oh yeah, just like a sun hat so it doesn't blow away in the breeze.
Yeah.
Drinking Bird's out on deck.
This can be the Drinking Bird Mark II. Can come with a little hat.
Well, what you really want is to have that hat
it's
be
really
the thing
fuzzy,
that protects
but now
the
it's coming
snorkel
up
as
to the
well.
center.
So you want a little mechanism that as it tilts down, it just takes the hat off and like tips the hat, so then it can actually do the inlet thing, and then
It's
just
perfectly
I like
blended
that
in
idea.
then as it
this
comes back up, then
environment.
the hat just like drops back into place under gravity, and
There's got to be a lot of coral upslope and all that.
What kind of coral is this?
Oh, that what we were looking at was a Chrysogorgia, and there's a little Anthomastus, but I'm looking at the ground, although manganese coated branches that are all crisscross, there's got to be a lot of coral upslope. Or there was a lot of coral upslope at some point.
Got a question coming in. How does it handle printing good quality with all the ship motions?
Seems to handle it just fine.
That's not Victor Borgia, is it?
It could be.
It's so purple.
It is really purple.
Go for zoom.
Likely. We are in the depth range for Victor Borgia.
I haven't seen any yet this cruise.
oh wow.
This will be the first one then.
Is it something you would like to sample, Megan?
No.
We see
Just
we
like
see a
the
fair
color.
Number of these, just I haven't seen any yet.
Yeah.
Is there,
it's all
I know that
if
they
we
have
haven't,
it, we see a lot of
Yeah,
it.
we see a lot of it.
but if we haven't seen it this cruise, is it worth? From
I
a
think
genetics perspective?
we got a sample of it earlier.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. The
Yeah, we
cruise
just
has
didn't
sampled
see
it.
it on
It's
our
just our
watch.
watch
Okay.
hasn't
Yeah.
seen it.
Yeah.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah, and then there's a snake star on it.
You can really see the current direction as well with that one.
Yeah, the current's
So Data,
coming.
do you have a list of everything that we sampled? Like just a separate list that you can just scan?
He has it in his mind palace.
We actually just passed 300 samples the last dive.
Okay.
I do not have them all in my head, but I do have a list of all the samples.
Okay. So
Just-
like if I say have we sampled Victor Gorgia, you can search at the list and be like, yes, we did.
Yes.
And you know which sample it is and everything.
Most of them I can remember if it's a specific coral, but
Okay. Oh, that's right, because you are hands-on each sample.
yes.
Every single dive. Right. Yeah. Something, something, something,
And-
never gets any sleep. Something,
And with-
something.
And with 300 samples, he can count them on the tendrils of his microbially infested
Right.
left hand.
Yeah. And actually, half of those samples are broken down into subsamples.
We'd like to move
so-
20 meters
wow.
200.
It's a lot.
Yeah, we're approaching 1,000 individual samples.
That must be pretty heavy duty by these standards, even for a cruise like this, right?
Yeah, it's quite
I
a
guess
bit.
it's the nature of going somewhere completely new and going places that's
Yep.
there isn't anything that you haven't that you have seen before that you don't want to sample of.
Yeah,
so.
that's right. And there's been a lot of interest in the things growing, if it's the same species seen other places growing in these new areas. So.
Because that's where I was coming from then, of like, if this really was the first time we'd seen that individual anywhere in the American Samoa cruise, then even if you see them a lot in other places, it would be... But that's different from... Oh, it's just one seamount over from a place we already have a sample from.
Yes, yeah.
You still awake in front?
Yeah. Just bebopping around.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a DVL reset.
Oh, thanks.
Just like I'll give you some ice cream later.
Yeah, would you like an ice cream cone?
It's Sunday today?
It's ice cream day.
Oh, it is.
Boy.
Sunday.
All right.
That just made me giggle so hard. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, it's ice cream day.
Circus music just went off.
You get to deliver the good news. There's some very exciting looking corals coming up on the edge here.
Yeah. Oh, look at this fish.
Oh, hello. Oh.
It's a Rexia.
Is that the kind that gave us a visit yesterday? Possibly.
Yeah, there was also, I saw a few different fish in that same family. I just like the name Rexia.
Megan, what is your favorite scientific name of anything ever?
I don't know. I like boops.
That's good.
It just brings me joy.
I think my favorite is of a algae that you can find in the Pacific Northwest, and it's called, its Latin name is Sarcodiatheca gaudichaudii.
Stop it.
And it is the funniest thing ever. It took me 2 weeks to get the pronunciation correct.
Say it again.
Sarcodiatheca gaudichaudii.
You are really good at that.
It took me 2 weeks, so I bet.
I feel like I could say it if I could see it
10 times fast. Sarcodiatheca gaudichaudii. Sarcodiatheca gaudichaudii.
Oh, she practiced that too.
That was only 2 times.
There's a
it's like huma huma nuku nuku apua.
What?
Huma huma nuku nuku apua.
Is that a Hawaiian name?
It's the Hawaiian name for the triggerfish.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I think these guys are going to be starting their own TikTok channel. Racing each other.
What were those ones that bounce back and forth? The ping pong GIFs or ping pong pictures?
Ping pong GIFs?
Tetris?
No. They were like... never mind.
No, Chris, we can work this out.
You could just do like a rap battle.
Yeah.
A rap battle. I'll
could
see
go
you
dueling
your favorite
banjos.
Latin name, and I'll see, and I'll raise you. And I'll say it
What's up?
twice as fast.
Oh, nothing.
I want to see dueling banjos, but like the Latin sea creature name version.
Wow.
Oh wow, yeah, that'd be intense.
I think you two are prepared.
Yeah, I think so. Let's zoom this coral, yeah?
Okay. Go for zoom.
Zoom it in.
So there's a bamboo coral, and it's got some zoanthids growing on it. And it's got a squat lobster. Oh, it's got a few squat lobsters and a few basket scars.
Those basket stars are wild.
Yeah, they're really fun.
They totally look like Halloween decorations, don't they?
You could wear it on your head.
Weird though.
I
Or
love
put
it.
in the
I
pocket
love
under
when
my
they
armpit.
move. It like is so creepy.
It's hard to believe they can move.
They can move all of their limbs all independently, so it's
All
like
of those tangled limbs?
yeah.
How? Do they have muscles?
I mean, not in the same sense we have muscles, but yeah.
I mean, how does their nervous system work to actually control that many different limbs?
Oh, you know, you'd
I
have to
have
ask
trouble
them
walking
that.
and chewing gum.
Like, this one's like untangled a whole bunch of its limbs.
Yeah, they can get themselves really tingly.
But then they
So
can
is
get
it just
themselves
one
really
sea
green
star, or
and
is it a bunch of sea stars?
It's two separate
Tangled.
ones.
Oh.
Right, but
like
the
with
one on the
lots
left,
and lots
that's
of
like
limbs.
one organism with
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
no way.
it just looks like
That's a
a
lot of legs.
basket full of sticks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the squat lobsters are sternostylus.
What do you think about a slightly more southerly move to get us sort of like up on top of this instead
Okay.
of
Yeah, we can do that. Ooh, let's look at the little
the fuzz?
puffy
Yeah.
bit.
Because I keep ending up off in the cabbage.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, wouldn't you want to go more southwesterly?
What?
Maybe,
What's
If you want to go up the
actually,
ridge?
70?
You're right. It does look like I
think
keep
it's-
trying to go more westerly, not more southerly.
Yeah.
Oh, you're trying to go this way?
Yeah.
I'd like, well, yeah, 200. So like go to the left of waypoint 2.
Yeah, we can like
Yeah.
Yeah,
do
because this is
this.
gonna go. Because I would love to.
Yeah,
Like
and just be
215?
flying up the ridge. Yeah.
Climb
so
up.
200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that. Our new.
We're
our new-
moving.
Okay.
Actually, if you had Rye just turn Atalanta to which direction you want to go, that would give us the heading we want, right?
Yeah. Also, I can turn. Herc is going to be the best at figuring
Okay.
out which direction we want to. Like, I would like to go.
Mhm.
Upslope is
Backwards.
this way.
That's
weird.
That's back the
Why?
way we came.
Yeah. Why is that?
Maybe because we've come off the top
Maybe
of the
I think
ridge
it might be like a local.
and we've slipped down the side.
Yeah.
Hi, that's strange.
What was your heading when you were doing that?
I ended up at like
300 or something?
yeah,
crazy?
like 300.
Yeah.
Can we zoom the bramble
Yeah. Yeah. Go for
bit?
zoom.
Should try and figure out what
Zoom
that
in.
is. What's going on here?
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, there is a lot. Oh, it's a
So-
madrepora.
Now there's zoanthid.
So the yellow is zoanthids.
Okay.
And then the zigzaggy stuff is madrepora. And the white fuzzy bit, I think, is hydroids.
Oh, cool.
Is that all on a dead bamboo coral?
Yeah, so all on a dead bamboo.
I really like zoanthids. They've got the best colors.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
gold
they're like
corals.
so, yeah, so pretty.
You can push in more video. Yep.
And there's a little snail up in there.
You called this madrepora?
Madrepora.
Madrepora.
You can tell because it looks
Oh,
like
this is
zigzags.
all three of them at once.
Mhm.
It's really cool.
So hairy.
Okay, go wide.
Going wide.
Great. That was cool.
So you can see in Atalanta Mezzo which direction the slope is. And it is directly off the starboard side.
Okay.
So it matches with what we were seeing in Herc. Like that we kind of want to go like 300 to climb the slope. And right now we're sort of going across the slope.
Yeah, but that's kind of like going backwards.
Yeah,
Which doesn't
I'm
make a
sort
lot
of
of
perplexed too.
That doesn't make sense because it's green that direction.
Yeah,
and not
what if the
yellow.
map is offset though? What if we're actually on this
Oh, but
side?
what if we're like over here?
Or the other side of the ridge? The steeper side of the ridge.
Oh, if we're over here. and
Sorry, I
we-
can't see where your mouse is.
Here, you think? If we're offset like by 20 meters?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can just go.
Yeah, like maybe 20 meters. Well, let's see. I mean, I can just start climbing this.
Start
like
climbing
if we
it,
change
and then
to a 300 heading, and just start climbing it and see, because it's not great for.
What
we're trying to go uphill, right?
Right.
Okay.
And uphill's supposed to be more southerly.
But it is turning out not to be. Okay. So here's our 300. Yeah. Atalanta can take the same 300 heading. And the ship has stopped moving, so we'll climb first, and then we can do a ship move and see if that helps us get up on top of the ridge again.
Okay.
I like that plan.
Oh, yeah. I should have asked you, Chris.
No.
Okay, I'm glad you like that plan.
I was busy agreeing with you that I was on mute, so, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what's happened, is we've slid off the top of the ridge.
Yeah.
I think this is exactly what we were joking about, if we could find you some steeper contours if you wanted to.
Yeah, you found
Just
it.
by going a little bit too far east, and the Atalanta sonar says, yep, that's what
There
you did.
they are.
Yeah, went
Right
a little
here.
bit too far to
I mean,
the
look at this over here.
east, and
Yeah.
in fact, the Atalanta, so those are 30-meter rings, is that right, on the Atalanta sonar?
20.
20, okay. So we might need another move like this to get to where we get past that for Atalanta.
Well, there's a pretty one coming up.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is really beautiful. Are we still not taking pictures with lower?
Oh, we can take some.
Okay.
Go on then.
I feel like this coral really wants to have a close-up and lower. I mean, I haven't asked it, but my suspicion
Well, we're going to
is it's
have to
been
get
posing.
it. We can't put it on the website if we don't have its consent.
Have you collected any samples yet?
We got a rock, but we haven't gotten any corals yet. Do you want to sample this coral?
Well, I was just thinking that in this dive we have the time to do a good job sampling the diversity of the communities at different depths. So that would be a suggestion to,
Okay,
it would be a good goal, because it's rare that we have the time to just stop and do a good job with that. We usually kind of like going on a mission.
Okay.
Yeah, that's reasonable. What do you want to sample? All of it? I'm getting an all of it vibe.
I guess
let's
we
just
want to
take
get
a
the idea of the community.
We can get a branch of this really pretty coral.
Yeah, so I think, usually in this kind of situation, ideally we want to do a representation of the things that we see, right? So like, if you see this bamboo a couple of times.
Different kinds of coral.
Right, yeah.
Place.
Yeah, and you get a sense of what's more common at different depth ranges and pair that with a sample is great.
And if we're going to get them all from the same locality, can we do things like snip and slurp them all into a single slurp chamber together? Or do they all have to be their own individual sample?
These things are kind of large. I don't know if we'll... Like that bamboo, I don't think we can slurp.
You don't think so?
Or bio-box
Well,
them
it's
all in
really
together?
Bushy.
I guess
It's
it
really
depends
what?
how
It's
heavy.
Really bushy,
Okay.
and it's going to be tough. The unbranched one we could do, but...
What do you, so I see Chrysogorgia, I see a macaroni and cheese sponge, I see an anthomastus, I see 2 different types of bamboos. And so you guys want some subset of those critters?
Sounds like that was Santiago's idea, yeah?
Okay.
All of these?
And just get like a family collection.
A good portion of them can go in the jar, I think. Like I can get a small bit of the Chrysogorgia. I can get a small bit of the macaroni and cheese sponge.
Oh, I don't think it's a good idea to stick them all in a
Yeah,
jar together.
I wouldn't put them all in the same location, because then if they have associates and things like that, then you can't tell where the associates come from.